March 2nd, 6:35 p.m. Courtroom. Murmur. Court is now back in session for the trial of Nakasu Kasumi. The prosecution is ready as always, Your Honor. The defense is ready for real this time, Your Honor. Right. Let's get back into the meat of things, shall we? The prosecution shall sum up what we know thus far. At an unspecified time between 12:05 p.m. and 3:30 p.m., someone left a basket of bread in front of Ayumu's locker in the clubroom, including the lace loaf. Our problem right now is that we don't know yet who actually left the basket there. It may have been the defendant, but it may also have not have been. However, I intend to clear everything up with my next witness and show that it could only have been nobody but the defendant, Nakasu Kasumi. Very well. This could go either way. I just hope it isn't someone like Emma-san or we're totally done for. Well, I guess who it's gonna be. It's gonna be Emma-san, because the more you mention it, the more it's gonna bring back to life. Bring into life. I'm not good with my sayings. Let me guess, your name is Emma. Yep, we're totally done for. And this is what you get for speaking things into the goddamn universe. Cry or sweat. You know what? Sweat some more. Why not me? Witness, can you state your name and occupation for us? Sure. I'm Emma Verde. As for my occupation, I guess I'm just a student and a school idol. Thank you for that, witness. Please specify about what you saw at the clubroom between 12:05 p.m. and 3:30 p.m. Okay, sounds good. That was the hardest witness testimony sound that got to me. Oh god. Turn the sound down, Ants. Turn the sound down. At 2:05 p.m., I arrived at the clubroom to drop off some stuff in my locker. Right as I arrived at the door, though, I ran into Kasumi-chan, who opened it from the inside. Kasumi-chan then suddenly said, "Shh, don't tell Ayumu-senpai I left that basket there." Then she took off. I entered the room to see that there was a basket in front of Ayumu-chan's locker, with 3 yummy-looking loaves of bread in it. At that point, I just dropped off my stuff, woke up Kanata-chan, and left with her. You're kidding, right? I mean, based on what I see, there isn't much holes into that statement, so that means we're probably gonna impress a lot. We're in a pickle, Yu-chan. Emma-san's basically incapable of outright lying. Everything she said seems to point the finger at Kasumi-chan. I'll say, how the heck am I supposed to cross-examine my way out of this one? Don't lose hope yet. There's gotta be a contradiction somewhere in there. Somewhere. What's wrong, defense? Throwing in the towel? You shut your face with the cockiness. I know it's all fallacy, so you shush. Anyway. Absolutely not. The defense refuses to back down just yet. Although, to be honest, your crummy attitude isn't doing me any favors. Alright, time to buckle up. Some boss ants time. This is gonna take a good while. Alright, starting off, what did you drop off? So, what were you there to drop off exactly? Oh, come on! You're asking her a question like that? Don't you think that's irrelevant? I mean, I need to know because maybe that item is probably important. Don't judge me. Well, I was thinking, you know? Maybe Emma-san brought us some cool foreign snacks for this weekend or something. Not the route I was going with, but if that helps, sure. Objection sustained. Try to keep your questions on topic, please. I just want to know what she brought, dude. Wow. Can't even do that anymore. Then she took off. I entered the room to see that there was a basket in front of Ayumi-chan's locker with 3 yummy looking loaves of bread in it. How many loaves of bread were there actually? I want to know. Let's see. There's 2. Oh no, there's 3. I'm just blind as all hell. But wouldn't there be 4 then? Because she had to have eaten it at some point. Okay, you know what? Let's press that. So you're certain that's exactly what you saw? There wasn't, say, another basket which also coincidentally had bread in it or anything? Nope, one basket. 3 loaves of bread right smack dab in front of Ayumu-chan's locker. If that's really true, that's bad news for us. I can't see Emma-san lying about this. She had to see something wrong then, if she's not a liar. So, I don't have much evidence other than the fact that when you arrived to the door, you saw 3 pieces of bread. And I don't think that there were originally 3 pieces of bread. I would have thought there would have been 4. So let's try that out. I'm gonna go for it. I probably am gonna be wrong. Please be the first one of the day. Please. Huzzah! Ain't nobody got nothing on me, cause I'm all boss, son. I don't even know what I did. 1 basket, 3 loaves of bread, in front of Ayumu's locker. You're absolutely positive that's what you saw? Yes, I'm certain. Witness, please take a look at this evidence for me. It's the basket retrieved from the club room, and it's got 3 loaves of bread in it. I can see that. Isn't that consistent with what I said? You're right. It would be. If it weren't for this. That's the loaf that Ayumi-chan ate, right? Yes. The basket was retrieved with 3 loaves of bread, and the half-eaten bread was retrieved as well. There are no fewer than 4 loaves of bread involved in this case. Huzzah! I feel smart for once because that was my first attempt. I'm going somewhere, boys. That's true! Where did that extra loaf come from? I'll tell you where it came from. Some lowlife planted it to frame my client. You see, the defendant had only baked and dropped off 3 loaves of bread in total, as implied by the witness. After that, to make it look like the defendant had done it, the real culprit dropped off the double-braided pile of evil in the same basket. Who are you calling a double-braided pile of evil? You want a penalty? Huh? No, not you. Then you mean me, right? No, I meant the bread. The loaves are double-braided, see? Oh! Well, in that case, that is a valid possibility. Alright, Yu-chan. Way to bounce back into the fight. Prosecution. What do you have to say in response? A keen observation for sure. However, I regret to inform you, defense, that this still doesn't change the fact that nobody entered the room between Emma-san at 2:05 p.m. and Ayumu-san at 3:30 p.m. Therefore, nobody could have dropped the extra loaf after the defendant had left the room. Damn it, she's got a point. As for where that extra loaf came from, well, the witness can tell you all about it. How about it, witness? Can you do that for us? Can I? I mean, yes, of course. You make me a little bit suspicious now. That was a little bit of hesitancy. And I smell fear, or weakness, or both, or piss, or any of the above. Witness testimony. The 4th loaf. I had actually bumped into Kasumi-chan earlier that day at around 10:30 p.m. outside the cooking room. At that time, Kasumi-chan had the basket with her. All 4 loaves of bread were in it. I must have been eyeing the bread pretty hard because she then offered me one of those tasty loaves. However, when I bumped into Kasumi-chan again at the club room, I felt bad for taking a part of Ayumi-chan's birthday present. So after Kasumi-chan left, I placed the loaf I had with me into the basket. That sounds very incriminating, but okay. And that's all. That's all. What a bizarre turn of events! But I guess not impossibly so. Before we move on to the defense's cross-examination, I would like to bring everyone's attention to this. And what exactly is this? It's a bottle of wakarashi. Essentially, it's a very spicy mustard. Wouldn't you know? It was found in the cooking room. Bottle of wakarashi added to the courtroom. This bottle was found sitting on the counter, partially used. Prosecution believes that it was used by the defendant before she bumped into the witness at 10:30 a.m. as she was exiting the very room this was found in. The evidence just keeps piling up against us. Still, you can't call it quits yet. Come on, you can do it. Ayumi's right. I've come too far to be foiled by a stupid bottle of mustard. Cross-examination, the fourth loaf. Ashley bumped into Kasumi-chan earlier that day around 10:30 a.m. outside the cooking room. Russ, why did you go to the cooking room? I was hungry. You know what? I don't know what amazing answer I was expecting. Just like, why did you go to the kitchen? I wanted dinner. I just wanted something to eat, you bastard. Why you gotta know? However, when I bumped into Kasumi-chan again at the club room, I felt bad for taking a part of Ayumu-chan's birthday present. Why? So basically, you found out the loaf you got was Ayumu's gift when you bumped into Kasumi-chan at the club room? Well, not really. I found out when I first bumped into Kasumi at the cooking room. Oh, okay. Wait, it took you 3.5 hours to try and correct this mistake? What? This is a school. Some students are going to have class during school hours. Oh, but Kanada-san can take a 2-hour nap just fine. Still, I'm not completely satisfied with that response. The prosecution's hiding something, I just know it. Specifically about the putting the bread back into the basket, which we're gonna find out more now. So you better spill. You had an extra loaf this entire time? Why would you leave that out of your previous testimony? I was told to. You bastard! Frickin' I made you British or whatever for no reason. But by who? Shizuku-chan. That bastard! Wow, okay, I know she's supposed to be honest, but that's just silly. So the prosecution was trying to hide this piece of evidence? Do you have anything to say for yourself? Yes. First off, it's by whom, not by who. You're gonna be the grammar police now. What are you gonna do, lock me up for saying the wrong who? So annoying. But that's our theater girl playing the role of evil, arrogant prosecutor for you. Honestly, sometimes I feel like she just wanted to do this whole attorney thing so she could screw around as an evil prosecutor. Second, once again, I just didn't think it was necessary to bring up, since no matter whose hands the loaves got exchanged between, they all started with Kasumi-san and they all ended up with Ayumu-san. Well, at least that's somewhat understandable. This case is getting weirder and weirder by the second. Who knew that it would get to this point? I sure didn't, but from the looks of it, Shizuku-chan did. We'll probably have to do some thinking outside the box for this one, because nothing else is clicking with me. You want to prove that Kasumi-chan didn't make any laced loaves, right? Well, let's assume she didn't. Then let's ask ourselves why it was impossible that she would want to. Okay, so something in that is false, and I don't quite know what it might be yet. I had actually bumped into Kasumi-chan earlier that day at around 10:30 a.m. outside the cooking room. I feel like something was off about that and I just noticed now. Kasumi saw Ayumu for the first time on March 1st at 12:05 p.m. Presented as a possible motive, retrieved. So, my logic here is that because Kasumi-chan saw Ayumu for the first time there, I don't think she would have enough time to bake that loaf of bread. Because I think bread takes a longer time to cook than 2 hours. So therefore, I think it's actually impossible to make a new loaf of bread with like the lace stuff in it, unless you were the one that took the bread and replaced it. So it has to be this. Bingo! Took me a little bit, but let's go. Witness, are you aware of what this is? A journal of some sort? Right. Specifically, it's the defendant's journal presented as evidence that she had a motive. There's an entry in here, written at 12:05 p.m. on the day of the crime. In it, Kasumi-chan details how she was jealous of Ayumu's cuteness on that day. Classic Kasumi-chan. Combined with her nature, I can see why she would want to sabotage poor Ayumu-chan. But here's the thing, that logic makes more sense. Because that the possible motive was made at 12:05 p.m. and she had 3 loaves of bread, I don't think that she would have a reason to make it because it would be way too late because that was the first time she saw her. Yes, but there's a problem. The entry states that Kasumi-chan only saw Ayumu in all of her glory at 12:05 p.m. that day and no earlier. So tell me, how could she have prepared the laced loaves at 10:30 a.m., an hour and a half before she saw Ayumu? Ah, that's true. So, the defendant hadn't seen the victim at the time she prepared the bread, which means... This whole time, we were assuming that the defendant had prepared the laced loaf as a sort of revenge of pettiness in response to Ayumu's prettiness. However, we now know that it's impossible that the defendant had such feelings at the time since she prepared the bread. Thus, she had no motivation. Therefore, the defendant had no reason to commit this crime. And don't say that's just how she is, because that's not a valid reason. The court agrees. It wouldn't be fair to indict the defendant unless there was a reasonable motivation. Well, what say you, witness? Huh? Why are you asking me? Wait, sorry, my bad. I got too caught up in the moment. Let me try that again. Well, what say you, prosecution? You're absolutely correct. Without the motive in the diary, it would not be enough to consider the defendant guilty. So what junk do you have now? Unless she had another motivation. You know that it's not legal to keep bringing up evidence after evidence after evidence for a trial, right? That's not legal here. Another motivation? I'll let the defense explain it. Ayumu-san, if you may. Wait, what exactly am I explaining? Something happened the day before the crime. Do you remember? Wait, could it be that? Do I have to? If you won't, I will. I don't mean to embarrass you, but this is important. So, the day before the crime, Ayumu-san was in one of the restrooms doing what she calls Ayopion to herself in the mirror. Oh, that's cute. Yu-chan, I just remembered. I need to go home and feed Sasuke. Right now? At that point, she walked in on by none other than Kasumi-san. In short, they had an argument. The victim was upset about being walked in on, while the defendant was upset about Ayumu-san being cuter than her. Where does something come from? I guess bread isn't the only thing Shikuko-chan can pull out of her behind. Let's play the game. What things can you pull out of Shikuko-chan's ass? Contestant 1. Do you think it's a horse? No. No. That said, if she's willing to suddenly resort to this kind of anecdotal evidence, I might be closer to the truth than I thought. I wouldn't put it out of the realm of reality for the crime to be motivated by this incident, to be honest. However, you do realize that this does not qualify as valid evidence, correct? I am aware. However, the witness has testimony that connects that story with this crime. Well, let's hear it. Alright, let's try this again. What Kasumi said. This all happened right after Kasumi-chan had handed me one of the loaves of bread after I bumped into her outside the cooking room. She suddenly whispered to me, "Remember that argument Ayumu-senpai and I had the other day?" She didn't specifically mention Ayumi-chan's birthday, so it sounds like she made the bread more because of the argument. I didn't realize it at the time, but I guess that she was planning her payback. She asked me if I knew which locker was Ayumi-chan's, but I didn't, so I just shook my head no. That's all. So it appears that the defendant had indeed set up the gift as a trap in response to the argument. Especially since, as the witness has stated, she made no mention of the victim's birthday. Well, let's not beat around the bush. Defense, your cross-examination, if you please. It looks like all we did was stall them a bit, but I can feel the prosecution's case unraveling by the second. There's going to be a break for us in here soon. I can feel it. Alright, rock and roll. This all happened right after Kasumi-chan had handed me one of the loaves of bread after I bumped into her outside the cooking room. Go on. Just for clarification, did she just hand you a random loaf out of the 4? I guess so. I'm not her, so I wouldn't know for sure. But it didn't look like she put much thought into which loaf she gave me. Why? What's the matter? Not sure. Maybe I should continue this line of questioning. Press harder, why not? I want to know which bread it is. Witness, did any of the 4 loaves stand out, or were they identical? All 4 loaves were made and packaged identically. I'm pretty sure. And how can you be so sure of that? It's not like you studied the bread in the basket when Kasumi-chan showed them to you, right? No, I studied them after. After? Yep. I went on Kasumi-chan's social media and saw that she posted a picture of the loaves of bread. They looked so delicious that I just had to take another look at them. So yeah, I'm pretty sure they were all the same. So where's that picture? Oh, me too. I'm gonna take a look right now. But isn't that weird? Only one of the 4 loaves were lace, right? So how does she know which one not to give you? What if she gave you the lace loaf? Beats me. I guess she just memorized which one it was. That's a bit too odd for me to just ignore like that. Witness, please add this to your testimony. Okay, sure thing. By the way, all 4 loaves of bread in the basket were baked and bagged identically. Bagged identically. Okay. Let's check out the actual report. Does it say anything like that?
A few moments later.
Has to be this. Yeah, I think so. Let's try this. Present, motherfudger! Bingo blammo, this is how we do it, baby. I figured it out. I finally understand what's going on here. The 4 loaves of bread could not all have been identical. Oh, do tell why. Yes, I'm curious to know what your epiphany is as well. It's in here somewhere. I know it. But which part? The 4 loaves of bread could not have been identical, and the following part of the crime shows why. The evidence found itself. It's all in here. The evidence found related to the crime. Really? And how does this show that the 4 loaves of bread must have not been identical? Yes, please enlighten us, defense. Oh my lord, we have to break everyone down in this room bit by bit by bit because you're all buffoons to not understanding why. It's quite simple, Your Honor. Up to this point, we covered all the evidence listed in this crime report except the twist tie. What could that little twist tie tell us that we haven't already established? I'll show you. This is the basket of bread collected at the scene of the crime? Indeed. I'd like to all note that none of the loaves are packed using twist ties. They're instead packaged with an adhesive flap. Yet, the witness claims that they were packed all identically to each other, which is impossible because otherwise we would have found 4 twist ties. Took me a while to figure that out. I was wrong about that? So, what does this mean? Could it be that the witness was mistaken? I don't think so. The defendant posted a photo of the bread on her social media, didn't she? That way, we can be sure if the loaves were identical. Ayumu, you said you took a look at Kasumi's post on her social media, correct? Were any of the loads packed with a twist tie? Actually, none of them were. You guys can take a look for yourselves if you don't believe me. Hang on, so the loaves of bread were packaged identically at first, but by the time the victim got to them, one of them was packaged differently, which means... There's only one thing it could mean. Twist tie it was found on the floor, which means the loaf that was used to package had been opened. Moreover, the only loaf of bread that was opened at the time Kanata-san investigated the scene of the crime was the laced loaf. That means that the replaced loaf and the laced loaf are one and the same. That is a very freaking complex line. That's a tongue twister and a half. Then, who could have swapped in the laced loaf? Defense, what do you make of this? There's only one person it could have been. Could it be? The one person who plated the laced loaf is... It's not you, is it? I mean, based on what you're telling me, you're the most suspicious one. You. Emma-san. Could it be that you were the one who placed the laced loaf? Did you just say... Emma-san? Pardon me, could you say that again? It sounded like you were accusing the witness of committing the crime. Of course. Listen carefully. Emma-san. It was you who planted the laced bread, wasn't it? Me? Defense, are you suggesting that the witness committed the crime? Of course I am. Think about it. Between the time Kasumi-chan took the photo of the 4 identical loaves of bread and the time Ayumu arrived to take a bite out of the laced bread, only one other person came into contact with said bread. Who, pray tell, was that one other person? That's right, it was the witness, Emma-san. Ah! Witness, explain! What is the meaning of this? No, that can't be right. What if... Shizuka-chan? The defense is full of drivel. That's not even considering the possibility that the defendant could have dropped off the laced loaf after the witness left. Sorry, but that could not have happened. Kasumi-chan couldn't have dropped off the laced loaf after Emma-san entered at 2:05, as shown by... I'm assuming is the access reports. Please look at the provided access records. You'll notice that nobody entered the room between 2:05 p.m. when the witness entered as Kasumi exited and 3:30 p.m. when the victim entered. Now, recall that the prosecution themselves state that nobody else entered between Kasumi-chan leaving and Ayumu entering. Guess what? That includes Kasumi-chan herself. No! Sorry to burst your bubble, but you know this all means nothing, right? A little twist tie won't get you anywhere. Massages? Are you aware that the detective, Konoe Kanata, wasn't present at the crime during the entirety of the investigation? Remember that Kanata-san mentioned that the access records were shut off at 4:30 p.m. and that she returned at the scene of the crime at 4:50 p.m. It would have been extremely easy for the defendant to return to the scene of the crime between those times and plant the twist tie at the scene of the crime to trick people just like you. And I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but I know for a fact that it was absolutely impossible for that to happen. It was impossible. But how? But how? Oh, I'm ready to ruin your life. Yes, here's why it was impossible for Kasumi-chan to have entered the scene of the crime between 4:30 p.m. and 4:50 p.m. That would have to be... because they were apprehended at 4:10. Kasumi was already apprehended. That's not how I present things. Good lord. It has to be that. If you take a look at the crime report, you can see that the suspect was apprehended at 4:10. She was taken away before the access records were even shut off. There's no way she could have barged into the clubroom afterwards. Damn it, she's right. What was I thinking? And now, a moment of truth. Witness, be honest. The loaf of bread you placed in the basket wasn't the same one you received from Kasumi-chan, was it? The prosecution's trust is in the witness. Come on, witness. There's no way that the defense is correct about this rubbish, right? Well, no. No, as in, the defense is wrong, correct? No, it's true. The bread was a different loaf. Ah! What the hell? We got her! We got her, boys! So what really happened was... Via Kasumi-chan's photo of the bread before the incident, we know that all 4 loaves were packaged identically at first. However, a lone twist tie was found at the scene of the crime, indicating that one of the loaves had been wrapped differently by the time the crime happened. And only one person came into contact with the bread between those 2 times. Therefore, the defense attests that it was not the defendant who sent Ayumu the laced bread. It was the witness, Emma Verde. It is unbelievable that I'm saying this, but the one who pulled this cruel prank on Ayumu-san appears not to have been Kasumi-san, but Emma-san. Defense, I must commend you. Against all odds, you managed to prove that Kasumi-san was not, in fact, responsible for this crime. Have I done it? Is it finally over? God's sake, woman! What? Did you really think this was over? Didn't think so. This time, though, I'm ready. I'm ready to beat your arguments with my counter-arguments like a debate person, or whatever it's called. I must say, defense, your ability to rile up the court is impressive. It makes us forget to slow down and look at the facts. Even I found myself too distracted to ask myself the simple questions. But we're all calmed down now, so let's take a step back for a second. There's one important question we forgot to ask ourselves in all of this that will turn everything on its head. Something we forgot to ask ourselves? Yes, and that simple, important question is, why? Why? Yes, why? This whole time, I've been racking my brain about why on earth Emma-san would want to pull this stunt on Ayumu-san, and I've yet to come up with one. That's what I've been thinking. Emma-san's so sweet and friendly. I can't even begin to think of a possible motive. The prosecution is right. We're currently lacking an all-important motive. She's right. We haven't found a motive. One possibility I've been thinking about is the idea that Emma-san's loaf of bread was not laced, that one of the other loaves in the baskets were laced instead. As well, the twist tie may have been placed there from an unrelated source, and didn't come from the laced loaves packaging after all. Now, this may sound convoluted, but the prosecution believes that this is infinitely more plausible than Emma-san somehow having a reason to do this to Ayumu-san. Very true. Yu-chan, they're going to let Emma-san walk away. I don't think she did it, but if she walks... Not only are we never going to find out what really happened, but also Kasumi-chan will be found guilty. Can't let that happen. Can't just end like this. Your Honor, there's too much that we don't know about this case. I believe that there is not enough information yet for a proper ruling. Emma-san admitted that the loaf that she placed wasn't the same one that she received, correct? Therefore, the defense requests that the witness testify about what she did with the loaf of bread she received, and how it was replaced with the loaf ultimately consumed by the victim. The court acknowledges the situation that the culprit could only have been either Kasumi-san or Emma-san. However, due to the astronomically low likelihood that Emma-san had a motive for this crime, the court is still of the belief that Kasumi-san is the real culprit. That said, in the spirit of clearing up as much uncertainty as possible, the defense will be allowed one more testimony from the witness. Do note, though, that if this cross-examination proves fruitless, the verdict shall be handed down immediately. So, I've only got one shot at this. Huh. I'd better make it count. A futile effort, but loose ends are loose ends. Witness, let's wrap this up once and for all. Witness, are you listening? Please testify about where you got that new loaf of bread. Sure thing. Witness testimony. The different bread. Reveal everything, please. After I received the loaf of Kasumi-chan, I merely opened it and bit into it. Right afterwards, though, I found out that the bread was Ayumi-chan's present, so feeling bad about it, I decided to have a replacement made in the cooking room. I remembered the design of the bread as well as I could and got a replacement wrapper and twist tie from the cooking room supplies. I wasn't sure about the filling, so I called Kasumi-chan about it and found the bottle in the cooking room. I had class, so I handed off the ingredients and specifications to the cooking assistant so she could do it while I was away. When I came back and saw that the bread was baked to perfection, I just packed it up and dropped it off in the club room. Maybe it wasn't you that did it then. Maybe it was the assistant? Okay, we'll see. That's quite the story. If this weren't Emma-san, I would honestly have my doubts. But it is. Now you know exactly why the true culprit could only be the defendant. Defense, are you ready for your final cross-examination? I'm ready. Because who would vouch for Kasumi-chan if I weren't? Nobody likes her for some reason. Wasn't sure about the filling, so I called Kasumi-chan about it and found the bottle in the cooking room. Okay, more. Give me more. Feed me more. And how did that conversation go exactly? Well, I sort of just called her and asked her what the filling was. I said I was going to write it down so I could cook myself another loaf later. It turned out to be a specific brand of cream from a specific place. Shira something. Just a second, witness. Pardon my interruption. Is this the cream that you heard about? It's called Shirakawa. Ah, yes, that's it. Shirakawa. I see. I grabbed this on the off chance that it may be important. It was found in the same cooking room. Well, Emma-san's story checks out because this cream smells and tastes absolutely delectable. Shirakawa brand cream added to the court record. Shirakawa brand cream? I've never heard of it. It seems like Emma-san hadn't either. When I came back and saw that the bread was baked to perfection, I just packed it up and dropped it off in the club room. Anything else? So, is there anything being left out this time? No surprise loaves of bread or other evidence? No more extra bits of testimony? No more. I promise you that's the end of it. There's nothing more to the story. But I actually need you to bring something out this time. There's not enough to work with here. Then, are you sure you got everything right this time? Everything you said is accurate to what happened. Defense, are you suggesting that the witness is lying about something in her testimony? If you think something is inaccurate, surely you can prove it, right? Don't know. Just don't. I don't know anything. I suck. That's quite enough. We got nothing. There's nothing else to cross-examine. The defense has failed to find any gaps in the witness's testimony. Because there really isn't one there. But, this is making my head hurt. No. Therefore, as stated, I will hand down my verdict now. I told you it was futile. Like I said, there's no way that Emma-san would have any reason to commit the crime. It's no use, Ayumu. I failed. Shizuku-chan's right. Emma-san would never have a motive to do the crime. Which is why I was thinking, Maybe she did it by accident? Could be plausible. It would sound ridiculous now, but would be plausible. Accident? Your Honor, please wait. The defense attests that there's still the possibility that the witness is mistaken about what actually happened. That's the most desperate attempt at prolonging the trial possible. You're saying the witness's testimony is wrong? You want to make that accusation? Then surely you must have the evidence to back it up, right? The defense is right. In a court of law, evidence is everything. Therefore, if you want to make that accusation, you must present the evidence. Well, defense, do you have evidence to back up your claim? This is it. The whole case hinges on this decision. We assume Emma-san really accidentally had a lace loaf made, and she must have misinterpreted one of the pieces of evidence. But which one? The piece of evidence that Emma misinterpreted is either something with the bread itself or actual things, which I think, let's see, I see something. So the first two characters from here are the same as the last two characters from here, but in reverse. So therefore, she must have thought the wrong label. That's the only damn way. I think I've done it. Bam! This is the bottle of the wakarashi used in the lace loaf. If Emma really did use this in the lace loaf, then she must have mistaken it for the bottle of Shirakawa somehow. I've got to think carefully. I'll just show her one part of the wakarashi bottle and see if she mistakes it for the Shirakawa. Which part of the wakarashi bottle should I show Emma-san? The name of the bottle itself, the name of the label, contents of the bottle, the name on the label. The name on the label, I'll write the name on the strip of paper exactly as it appears on the bottle of wakarashi. Witness, can you take a look at this for me? I see it. What about it? Can you please read this for us? Of course. It says Shirakawa. You dumb girl, but thank you. Oh, it's over. It's over. She did it by mistake. Yay. Everyone is shocked. Everyone is shocked. Witness. Are you sure that this actually says wakarashi? As in, the name of the mustard used in the lace bread? So it does, huh? In light of this, is it possible that you made the same mistake when you picked out the filling at the cooking room? I did. You did? You're right. I didn't want to believe that I could make such an awful mistake as sabotaging a gift for a friend, but it's true. That's just what we call an accident. You're not intentionally doing it, so I think you can get away with that. Emma-san laced the bread? So that's it, huh? That's what really happened? But how? How could you mix up these two ingredients that look completely different? See, I wasn't sure either. How could you confuse a spicy mustard and a sweet cream with different names? But then I figured out that it probably has to do with the orientation of the names. The orientation of the names? Yes, the orientation of the names. Wakarashi is written as and Shirakawa is written as They look almost identical if one is read backwards. Yeah, because looks like backwards. I don't know why I made that joke. Forgive me. I figured Emma-san, being a foreigner, would be used to reading things left to right. However, if you look at the wakarashi, written as you'll notice that it's written right to left. And being in a hurry to get to class, she missed the difference between the and in and a in Exactly. Amazon heard the name Shirakawa and accidentally read Wakarashi as Shirakawa. But what if the cooking assistant have realized she was baking a loaf of bread with spicy mustard? She didn't think that was weird? It's possible that she did, but when we started this session of the trial, I was afraid I wouldn't get anywhere with the cross-examinations because Emma-san is too trustworthy. I didn't think she could lie about anything. Emma-san said she's on good terms with the cooking assistant, right? Maybe in a similar way to me, she trusted Emma-san's judgment too much to question it. I agree. If Emma-san was in a hurry and requested that I do something important for her, I wouldn't have questioned it either. Well, I've got to hand it to you, Defense. You've done a fantastic job convincing us that, indeed, Emma-san could be the one behind this whole situation. Including myself. I trusted my own judgment too much. I wanted to correct the mistake, but I just ended up causing another mistake. I was too careless. I didn't think I could actually mess up this badly. Because of that, poor Kasumi-chan got blamed for it instead of me. But now that Yu-chan has shown us what really happened, I know that I was wrong. I need to own up to my mistake, huh? Emma-san. Ayumu-chan. Kasumi-chan. I'm sorry. I hope that you can forgive me for all of this. You accidentally just laced a piece of bread. I think they'll forgive you. It's not like he killed anyone, like in the other games. He did it. It's been done. Hurrah! Congratulations, Kasumi-san! You picked out a good defense attorney, because it looks like you'll be cleared of all charges! Of course! Never doubted Senpai for a second. See? Told you I wasn't Kasumin. Just because something bad happens, that doesn't always mean that it's Kasumin's fault, you know. Now, if you don't mind, Kasumin would like to go home. Hang on, Kasumi-chan. The judge still needs to call the verdict. Who knows? Maybe Shizuku-chan has something to show us that will put you back under suspicion. Ah, Shizuku, you wouldn't do that, would you? Quick, judge, call the verdict. Say that Kasumin isn't guilty. Just a little payback for saying all those self-incriminating things to Emma-san. Very well then. This court officially finds the defendant, Akasu Kasumi, not guilty! Yeah! Your boy has done it! Get in! That is all. Court is adjourned. Bam! March 2nd, 7:51 p.m. Defendant lobby. We're free! We did our boss thing. Hell yeah. I did it. I actually did it. I won. Way to go, that was amazing, Yu-chan. You know, at the end of it all, I have to say that it was all actually pretty fun. I'm actually kind of looking forward to the next one. You did it, Senpai. Kasumin owes you one for that. Maybe Kasumin will owe you one. Or maybe not. Thanks, Kasumi-chan. I'm looking forward to it. Hey you guys! Hey! Ayumi-chan, I'm sorry I ruined your birthday yesterday. Can I ever make it up to you? Don't worry about it, Emma-san. I'm already over it. You guys are my friends, okay? You're all too important to me to get upset at. Ayumu. Besides, I've had worse. It's gonna be as bad as the time I got possessed by a demon or that time I went to Mars to bring the joy of idols to the Martians. Now this is where the part goes where I have no idea what the hell that means. I really gotta catch up with the Idol series, for God's sake. Huh? That actually happened? Wait, no, never mind. I think that second one was actually a dream I had. Maybe something that was in the anime that I didn't know. You're telling me the first one wasn't? Emma-senpai, how could you? You almost let Kasumi take the bullet for something that you did. Why would you do that? Sorry, Kasumi-chan. I really thought it was you who wanted to prank Ayumi-chan for the argument the day before her birthday. Oh no! It was an apology gift. APOLOGY gift. That's why I put Unity on my social media posts. You are terrible at spelling. But in a sense, it was good that there was uncertainty about who did it, right? There wouldn't have been a case if there wasn't. Oh, hey, Kanata-san. How was playing detective? It was fun. Kind of. But next time, go easier on Kanata-chan, okay? I'm sorry. I'm a freaking defense attorney. I have to press everyone I see on that witness stand. Even if it's you. Cute old adorable you, anyway. Right. Sorry for putting you on the spot like that, Kanata-san. I had to consider all the possibilities, you know? Well, maybe Kanata-chan will just spectate next time. Aw, you're not gonna be my dick gumshoe. We need a dick gumshoe. You can be the dick gumshoe. Come on, please. I won't beg, even though I'm already doing that. Senpai, thanks for the brilliant trial. We're going to put it online soon. I'm sure everyone will love it. Alright. By the way, could you maybe tone down the evil prosecutor shtick next time? So sorry. Did I overdo it? I just thought it would be more exciting for the watchers if the prosecutor was more villainous. I had full confidence in you winning the trial. Setting up an arrogant antagonist would make the takedown more satisfying for the villain, you know? I mean, I had fun. I'm the viewer here. I'm having a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just... wow. You were a very completely different person in there. You're right. Next time, I'll find someone who's like that naturally. Then, the viewer won't be as confused by the sudden personality change if they happen to know what the prosecutor is like normally. Not what I meant. An idea? I'll give it some more thought then. To be honest, I'm not satisfied just leaving it off here. I still want to do something to make it up to Ayumu-chan for accidentally feeding her at least a loaf of bread. How about I cook you an all-new batch of bread? Mustard-free, of course. Well, if you insist, then I'll gratefully accept. Although, I'm honestly not in the mood for bread after all of that. Maybe something else? Sure. How about a cake instead? It was your birthday after all. Consider it a late birthday cake. What flavor though? It should be something meaningful, but also something that Ayumu-chan hasn't tasted yet. Should I just give her the... I really want to give her the frickin' Wagarashi again, but I'm gonna play nice, just cause I like Ayumu. Here you go. Hey, how about this? The Shirakawa cream thing. Since Ayumu only ever tasted the lace loaf and the other three were taken in as evidence, Ayumu never actually tasted this, did she? Oh, with great thinking, Yu-chan! One Shirakawa flavored cake coming right up! Kasumi will help out too. You know, to make sure you're doing it right.
I will judge you with every look in my eye because I'm a demon now.
That's what I view you as now. That's exactly what I view you as. No more mistaking mustard for cream, okay? Kasumi doesn't want to have to go through another trial again. You won't, you'll be fine. Unless... Speaking of trials, Emma-san, I'm honestly surprised. I didn't think you were capable of lying as much as you did back in that trial there. Lie? I never lied during my testimonies. But you said you put the bread you got from Kasumi-chan into Ayumu's basket, when it was actually a completely different loaf of bread. I didn't say that. I said I put the loaf I had into the basket. No mention of who it was from. What about the basket? You said you didn't touch it, but you put the laced loaf in it, right? I did say that. It's true though. I didn't actually make contact with the basket while putting it in. Oh, she's a slippery one. Then, what about the cream? You said you wanted to know about it for future reference, but you actually wanted to use it immediately to sneakily cover up a mistake. Well, I started cooking the bread a few seconds after I asked you about it. A few seconds into the future is still in the future, isn't it? I didn't know you were so cunning. Listen, Yu-chan, when you've got 8 little siblings, you're bound to figure out a trick or two.
That's how I killed all of them.
I really had to stop making everyone a demon now, or messed up in some sort of way. And posted. Whether or not this gets a good response, let's all celebrate this as a successful trial. Sure, anyway, I could really go for some cake right now. Amazon, since you're offering. Of course, Kanata-chan, Shizuku-chan, would you care to join us for cake after Kasumi-chan and I are done? Sure thing. Kanata-chan will go get Setsuna-chan as well. Then it's a date. Come on everybody, let's go! Aww. The end. Finally. It's been an hour and 50 minutes I've been recording. My lord. And that was the entire first case. Through and through. Episode 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever is going on. Hasn't been released yet, but my lord did I have a fun time playing this game. Without further ado, thank you very much for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all that jibba jabba. My kings, my queens, and my royals. And I will see you soon, baby. Yeah. I don't know why I went with there. I'm also just a little bit intimidated by her, maybe her, I don't know you yet, but mostly her. I'm intrigued, yet scared. I guess I'll have to wait to find out, right? This game's gonna kill me like Danganronpa did, maybe even worse.
Lord knows I tried.